Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Charlotte's Web, written by E.B. White. Now, before I go into the summary and analysis of this novel, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Now, this novel is kind of a children's novel. It's a good novel to kind of read with your kids, and even if you don't have kids, it's a good read because it actually brings about a concept that's kind of interesting and somewhat um, funny in other ways because you kind of see the world through a child's eyes and how it can be portrayed differently. So, in the novel, we're introduced to Fern. Fern is this young girl that lives on a farm, and farm life is, you know, you kill animals. If you're a farmer, you're going to kill animals for food. If an animal is not healthy enough, if an animal is too small, you might not want to spend money on feeding it, so you might kill that animal. And just farming is about raising, feeding, and growing animals so that you can sell them for meat, milk, and other products. So in the novel, what we find is that Fern is this young girl, and her father was about to kill this runt, this pig, that is very small. It wasn't big enough to live, and Fern just jumps in and saves it like a hero. And basically, Fern says that I'm going to take care of this pig. I don't want you to kill it. And this is a really good thing, and it shows you how heartwarming and how what a great individual that Fern is. But at the same time, it's taking away one pig out of the whole number of pigs that are going to be killed year in and year out because it's not the last runt to ever live. So when the next batch of pigs are born, there's bound to be other runts. So Fern helps out this one pig that she eventually names Wilbur, but the rest don't survive. So the story goes on, and Fern takes cares of Wilbur. Wilbur grows. He gets better. He's starting to become a healthy pig, and Fern is very happy. But eventually, Wilbur is given to this other farmer, and this other farmer, of course, wants to eat Wilbur because bacon. So the story goes on, and Fern is worried about Wilbur, but there's not really that much she can do. Fern has this other brother by the name of Avery Arable, and he's an interesting character within the Arable family. Avery is not like Fern. He's actually kind of like the opposite of Fern. He does whatever he wants. He actually pretty much he tortures animals. Throughout the story, you kind of see him picking up snakes and frogs and different animals and putting them in his pocket. He's this kid that likes to get dirty. He likes to play in the dirt, in the woods, in the wilderness. That's just him. He breaks things. That's Avery. So he's the total opposite of Fern. Fern is this kid that's more caring, and she's an innocent individual, and she's just trying to do the best that she can to protect Wilbur. And if she could protect other animals, she's the type of person that you could see protecting other animals. So the story goes on, and Fern goes to see Wilbur from time to time at the farm that he's in. But she can't really do anything to save him, and she grows up and becomes a little bit distant from Wilbur. Who really saves Wilbur is Charlotte. Charlotte is this spider that becomes Wilbur's friend. And the thing is, animals don't really have friends because you could be friends somebody, you could become a friends with somebody today, and then tomorrow they're slaughtered. On this farm, we kind of see the animals. They understand where they are. They know that their lives are not guaranteed. They're not going to live forever. Their children are taken away from them. They're fed. They grow, and they get fat, and their owners kill them to sell for meat or for milk and other things like that. And so they understand their place in the world. Wilbur, on the other hand, he doesn't want to die, even though he's a pig. He wants to live. He doesn't want to die, and he asks the other animals to help him, and they're like, "Listen, we're in the exact same place you are. There's really no escape." Which is kind of sad. Whenever animals are given voices and you kind of see their world, it's really dark because if they knew that they were in captivity and that they were being raised and grown for food consumption, you know, it's a very dark world to think about and live in. So Wilbur, throughout the novel, we just kind of see him trying to survive, trying to not get eaten, and the individual, the creature that kind of steps in to help him is Charlotte. Charlotte has this web, and she writes words within it, like, humble and terrific. And, that helps Wilbur to survive, because when the people, the humans, see these words, they think that Wilbur is this special pig that needs help, that they should take care of. And so they start parading Wilbur around and saying that he's this magical, this wonderful pig, this pig that needs saving. And so the story goes on like that. We just see Shard stepping in here and there, saying different words, saying different things to help Wilbur survive, and Wilbur does survive. He gets good food. He's treated differently from the other pigs. He gets baths, and they clean him up. They clean him up very well, because Wilbur becomes this pig that's making money, because people wants to see this magical pig. That, things, wonderful words are being written about this pig, like humble. I mean, who doesn't want to see a humble pig? I mean, if a pig is humble and terrific, I want to see this pig. So the farmer that owns Wilbur, he just parades him around, makes money off of him, and then he does. He ultimately doesn't kill Wilbur. He just, in the end of the story, he just basically gives Wilbur his own little place, his own little part of the farm to live in, and he feeds him. And Wilbur goes into his old age as, a pig that never became bacon. Charlotte doesn't survive though. Charlotte dies. I mean, spiders don't really live that long. But before Charlotte dies, she leaves behind this egg sac that has all her eggs in it, and Wilbur takes care of it for her. Charlotte dies. Wilbur takes this egg sac, and it hatches, and all of Charlotte's kids come out. Most of them run away and leave Wilbur. But, in every generation of Wilbur's, every generation that comes before or that comes after Charlotte, all her kids, there's always like two or three or one spider that stays behind and lives with Wilbur and takes care of Wilbur. And, the friendship continues, even though that Charlie is dead. So the friendship continues through friendship and through the children of Charlotte. So Charlotte saved Wilbur, and in some way, Wilbur saved Charlotte, because he took care of Charlotte's egg sac and helped that egg sac hatch and her kids to come out. So the story basically ends like that. It's a very interesting story. Wilbur never forgets Charlotte, because that was his pretty much best friend and the creature that saved his life. And that's pretty much the end of the story. In terms of analysis, this is a really good story. At the same time, that you get to understand the life of Wilbur and what he goes through and how he survives. You also get the perspective of how kids often look at things. Fern is this kid, even though that she lives on a farm, and that, day in and day out, or year in and year out, pigs are killed for consumption, for profit. She still wants to save this little runt of a pig, and she still wants to take care of it. On her farm, on her father's farm, the animals are gonna die, and it's not something that she can stop, because if she stops the entire farm from killing animals, or from using animals for profits and money, her family would have no business and no income. So it's a battle that she can't really win, but it's a part of being a kid. When you're a kid, you have to learn how the world works, and the book doesn't really focus on learning how Fern um, figures out the world, but it's an interesting idea to think about. I don't like Avery. Avery is this kid that just tortures animal just because he wants to have fun. He's just the breaker in this story. Um, so lots to learn about animals, and if they had consciousness, it would not be a pretty thing, because knowing that you are only meant and you will only exist for food consumption is not a good life to live. But it creates an interesting story, though. So that's my summary analysis of this story, this book by E.B. White. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.